if you could go back in time and tell your 16-year-old self one thing, what would it be?
Don't get engaged.
You are now tuning in to the Roughnecks Podcast with your host, Cole Nixon. Much love.
I really hope you guys enjoy today's episode. If you do, then be sure to subscribe, rate, and review, then pay a simple, cheap fee. All I ask is that you like the episode and then maybe share it with a friend you think would enjoy it as well. Help continue to grow this podcast and share the words of wisdom from all my guests that join the show with as many people as possible. As always, be sure to grab the bull by the horns and take control of your life. Let's get into this week's episode. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Roughnecks Podcast. This is episode 63. Joining me today, I have two of my best friends from college. I hate them, love them all at the same time. We got one, actually, they're both rejoining, but one was the original co-host of this podcast for like 3 episodes or something rather. But Tex and Teddy back to the podcast finally. Jesse Beachy also back to the podcast. Welcome back to the Roughnecks Podcast, you guys.
What's going on?
What's up?
You guys are sitting down there in the it looks like the dungeon. I got some memories down there.
This is the spot, you know.
It's where the people who make little money go and sit.
You'll come down here, it'll be 9 o'clock when you get out of here. It's 4 in the afternoon. You know what the fuck just happened?
This is like, it's kind of weird. This is like the first time I've been in here and not had to like
be a player.
Yeah.
Like
football stuff.
I can't even imagine, like, when we went back to a little bit of campus for a little bit, I was like, this is weird. Like, I don't even feel like I'm supposed to be here anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, I felt really out of place today.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
Especially when you like the freshmen are around and you don't know them, like from a player standpoint. It's definitely kind of like, well, my time here is officially done.
Yeah, because how many classes are left? I mean, other than Shane and all those guys you obviously played with, but is the junior class, the last class?
Yeah, so that would be like Mises' class.
They were freshmen when you were a senior, right?
Yeah, Mises is in that class. Trying to think who else is in his class.
I don't even know anymore.
Chitty.
Yeah.
Giddy. But yeah, all those guys.
But
I think everybody in Jesse's class you were a freshman
when he was a junior.
Junior. Yeah. So Kofi, yeah. So this graduating class would be the last class. Jesse they would know him.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. Jesse, you're an old man.
Yes.
We were actually just talking about this before the episode about how it's weird getting older and your body hurts and you have bowel problems and shit like that.
Yeah, it's only with Mexican food though.
Yeah, I just ate Mexican food, so
you gotta watch what kind of spices you use, what kind of sauces you use. You gotta be careful. It just creeps up on you too. All of a sudden, it could be fine like a month before, and then you'll just eat it again, and then all of a sudden, like something just goes wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say Teddy down there in Texas is used to eating all that hot stuff. It doesn't even matter.
No, I remember. No, we went. You weren't here in town. You had something that weekend, and I went hunting. No, because I went squirrel hunting with J-Lau and Krusty, and I used your overalls.
Oh.
But we came back, and his dad made like squirrel Alfredo.
That sounds amazing.
So it's basically like chicken Alfredo because fucking squirrel tastes like chicken.
But I loved it. I put Frank's hot sauce on it. It was delicious. But we come back and you know, it was a weekend, so we're all going to the bar. And J-Lau and Krusty were shitting their brains out in the bathrooms of Clancy.
No, Krusty is always shitting his brains out. Let's get that clear.
Well, no, J-Lau had to leave backstretch because he was in the bathroom the whole time.
Well, at least it was backstretch.
Oh,
Trying to do that at Clancy's
with the open stall. Yeah.
No, thank you.
But we've already kind of touched on some of it. But I allow every episode, allowing my guest to kick off the episode by telling us who they are. So tell the Roughnecks listeners who you guys are. Teddy just decides to walk out of the screen and say fuck it. But Jesse, let's start with you. Tell us who you are.
All right. Well, I'm Jesse Beachy. I guess now I work construction, mainly doing like home remodels and additions and decks and everything in between. So, I mean, I guess that's basically what I do now. Other than that, whole lot of nothing. I mean, it's weird. It's weird going from like going to school every day to, I mean, it's not that like, I mean, you're still on a schedule like work-wise, but other than that, like having the weekends off, don't have to go out all the time. If I do go out, then it's maybe for a few hours, unlike a couple days, like in college.
Yeah, I realized I had a weekend bender a little bit, and I realized real quick, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't hang, essentially. Like I don't know how I did it in college.
Well, that's why I was telling you to drink water.
That's overrated.
I was like, well, I didn't know how you were doing it in the first place, because if I do it like one night, count me out for like the next week.
Sometimes you just have to continue it.
I mean, I understand that.
Sounds terrible. It sounds terrible. Don't get me wrong. I'm not recommending this to anybody, but like, honestly, the whole saying is the best cure for a hangover is to drink another beer.
I don't know about that.
Well, you can't just drink one. You might have to drink a few.
Yeah, you gotta keep you gotta have that like constant buzz going.
Mm-hmm. Until you go to bed. And then
drunk, you're just gonna pass out.
So Teddy, now that you're back, tell us who Teddy Houlihan is. Texan Teddy.
I'm Ted from Texas.
Hold on, before you get too far into this, how many conversations do you start that way?
A lot, actually.
Well, because you gotta talk to recruits.
Yeah. They'll be like, yeah, oh, where are you from? Like, yeah, from Texas.
And they're like, why the hell are you in Ohio?
Yeah, and usually and that's kind of the cool thing though, is explaining. That's like the first time I realized, like, damn, I've kind of been here for 6 years now. All of my 20s I've been in here, and it's kind of think about it, it's like, we all kind of talked in college about, Delaware's kind of, there's some downsides to it, but I love Delaware, and it's been a big part, and there's just some, especially getting older, there's a lot of upsides to Delaware, Ohio, and I love this place. So
well, it's got to be too, like, the aspect of, like, I mean, when you're in college and you go somewhere, like, you're like in that like college bubble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you're only gonna go to like a certain bar or like a certain couple bars.
Yeah. Now it's
whereas like now, I mean, older, you can go like there's so many like cool places that I didn't go to when I was here at college that I've been to now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, shoot, I wish I would have went there while I was at college. But.
Yeah. Like I look at, there's a few places back home even that like I was so against going. I hated going. Well, my thing with Pataskala, I love Pataskala sometimes, but you go to it and like, it's like a high school reunion and you see kind of the people you don't want to see. And I feel like we kind of run into it in college too. If you go back to a football game and then you go to the bar and you're going to run into people you don't necessarily want to see. But it like high school, in my opinion, is just worse. But then I'm like, this place isn't that bad. Because my buddy's like, just come out. It's not that bad. And I'm like, who's there? And he like told me, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll come out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say anything about.
So tell me who you are.
I don't know. You're a football guy. Coach. It's all I want to do. It's all I know. I'm not a fancy guy.
Fancy like Applebee's?
Way worse, dude. You show me a nice Wendy's, and that's what we're.
Get that 4 for $4.
Or like you seen the Taco Bells lately? They've done a really good job.
Yeah, they are getting pretty fancy.
Or Sheets. I think a good date would be taking somebody to Sheets.
Ted, I think you need to step up your dates, bud.
No, I'm a simple guy, football guy. I don't really know.
That's pretty much both of you. You guys are very simple people. It's kind of all three of us in a way, just simple people, and that's kind of all it is.
Yeah.
So
I don't really know how to describe myself. I've never really thought about it, to be honest.
You've had to do it on this podcast multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's actually went the same way pretty much every single time. Like if you guys go back and listen to any episode that Teddy's been in, and it's like introducing who Teddy is, it's like, I'm a coach. I'm from Texas. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
There's not a lot to it. That's kind of describes a lot, you know.
That describes your life.
I'm a traveling man. I guess. Yeah, I'm a traveling man.
You're a traveling man. You've lived in Texas and Ohio.
And I've had to travel through states to get
to okay, but anyway, first thing I'm going to ask you guys, I believe I actually may have asked both of you this before, but why OU? Because like we got almost 2 different perspectives here. You know, actually 3 in a way, because I'm from an hour away. Jesse's from what? How far are you from OU?
Time-wise, it's like 25, 30 minutes.
And then Teddy's all the way from freaking Texas. So why did you guys decide to go to Ohio Wesleyan?
You go first.
You go first? I know you're eating. I'll go first. No, finish your quesadilla.
I didn't bite it yet.
And this is why we love Teddy and Jesse. They are pretty much brothers, so they argue like it.
He's dipping his quesadilla in guacamole and baby food.
No, I'm not using that crap anymore. It's not even guacamole. It's just green sauce, dude.
I picked OU, Cole Nixon, because there was this guy I knew that was going to be there a year after me that looked like a ferret.
Yeah. You didn't even know who I was, and I hate that you just called me that.
Oh, man. You're just taking shots. That's wrong.
No, I picked OU. I came on an overnight, did the tour and all that, and then got the workout, and then you kind of sit in the – leading up to that, I spent time with some of the older guys. It was Dougie Sanders, Pugh, and Ross Hickenbottom. And those guys were kind of, I guess, like not – Ross was a big part of the team, Dougie too, but they were kind of like, I guess, leaders or – they were popular on the team.
Well, they were just good guys.
Yeah, they were just good people. And I knew that, you know, they were juniors, so I was still going to have at least a year with them. And then when I got in the meeting with Coach Watts, it was just kind of it felt like home. You know, everyone was there because they loved to play football, but everyone was there for each other, and you kind of get to see how guys interact in the locker room. And you know, it's, you know, Coach Watts is kind of the definition of a player's coach. You know, he loves the guys. He wants to take care of the guys. And I liked it and liked the vibe and liked the whole staff. And it, you know, and that feeling never changed my whole time here in OU. That's why I now live here and coach here and stay here.
Fair enough. I was trying to think, honestly, because I forget who I told. I think it was on Caleb Scott's episode a while back, where I was like, you know, I want to come up with something that somebody has to do if their phone goes off during the podcast.
Yeah, I just turned it on silent. Don't make me do anything.
I wanted to come up with something. We're not going to start it now, but let's come up with something. What should somebody have to do if their phone goes off during the podcast, including myself?
You're going to get real pissed off here because my laptop's going to die.
No.
We can do it on our phones, though.
Well, we can do another technical difficulty insert right here. All right, we're back. Jesse, why did you decide to go to Ohio Wesleyan?
All right. Kind of piggybacking a little bit off of what Ted already mentioned. That was like the main reason why I wanted to come here was doing my overnight. The guy I stayed with, Peter Cook. You guys probably don't know him.
Yeah, we know Petey. I know Petey.
You know Pete?
You do. I don't.
You don't know him.
No.
Yeah. Well, Petey, it was funny because he had a nickname. Everybody was telling me his nickname. I forget what it was, but it was something funny because just meeting him, he was the nicest kid, but apparently like he could party.
we came across a few of those in our days.
Right. And me, at that time, I was just a shy, did not talk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still don't really talk, but if you get me talking, I'll talk. I'll just ramble on. But I stayed with him, and it was kind of nice because he was in the same fraternity as an older guy that I went to high school with and played football with, Devin. So I hung out with them. Who's the other guy? Was it Josh?
Josh Piles?
Yeah, Josh. Josh was there too. Teddy knows Josh. So, but it's kind of funny. Ohio Wesleyan ultimately was like my third pick when I was like trying to like line up schools where I wanted to go. Originally wanted to go to UC, Cincinnati, and then my other school that I was looking at was Wittenberg.
Fuck Whit. I'm pretty sure, actually, right there behind you, Jesse, I'm pretty sure it says something.
It says beat.
Oh, yeah.
For those who don't know, Wittenberg is Ohio Wesleyan's rival.
Yeah.
One of the many.
I mean, I didn't even know that when I was picking schools either. But my first visit, I went to, after I visited UC, I mean, I loved that place. It was awesome. But after that, I went to a visit at Wittenberg, and I don't know. I'm not like putting them down. They have a great program, and I'm sure they have a great school. But to me, it just felt like
they were gay.
I don't know. It just felt off to me. I didn't feel like comfortable.
I feel like I had the same thing. It doesn't feel, you don't get that home feeling when you're at Wittenberg. You get almost like that business feeling. I mean, some people prefer that, but like their coach was so hard-headed, and like I don't know. I agree with you. I see what you're saying, because I was the same way when it came, because Wittenberg was also in my top choices. But like when I went on my visits to Wittenberg compared to Ohio Wesleyan definitely had the edge.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was because they're probably like drive time for me, they're probably like 40, 45 minutes. But since I didn't feel like comfortable there anyways, I wasn't leaning towards that. So then I decided to take a visit here, which I wasn't really going to do in the first place. Kind of have my mind made up that I wanted to go to Wittenberg. So I took a visit here, and then I met all the guys here, saw like the facilities and stuff, and saw like the incoming like changes they were going to be doing, like the locker room and stuff like that.
Jesus, you're that old. It was before the locker room was finished.
Yeah, my freshman year, it was head locking
with the tile flooring.
Yeah, it was garbage. Yeah. I mean, you got the job done. Nothing like how it is now, though. But it was nice too, because I mean, it's a simple drive for me. It's basically just one road until I get into Delaware, and I kind of had like a lot of anxiety about like my since I'm a type 1 diabetic, like getting my insulin and stuff. I didn't know how that was going to be if I went 2 hours away to Cincinnati, and I got diagnosed my senior year of high school, like right in the middle of football season. So it's not like I had been like dealing with it for years that I knew like what to do and stuff. So that, along with like the family feeling here, it just clicked for me.
I was gonna touch on the what?
Being the friend of a type 1 diabetic survivor.
Fucking head ass.
I was gonna touch on the diabetic thing with Jesse, and I was gonna ask when it happened, but like, I want you to kind of take me through what was your thought process like when they told you like you're a type 1 diabetic?
Oh,
shit, I'm gonna get big as fuck.
I was pissed. No, I was, well, like, it's kind of crazy because a week before I actually went to the doctor, I like looked up all like the symptoms I was having on Google, which I don't recommend anybody.
No matter what it is, you should
go down
look it
a
up
very
on Google.
dark rabbit hole. So I did that, and then the first thing that came up was type 1 diabetic, and I was like, I thought diabetes was like
fat.
Yeah. Like, that's ultimately what I thought it was. And I was like, there's no way I have that. So then I kept going through all my crap, feeling like crap all the time. And then went to the doctor and got admitted, and they took my blood sugar there. So your normal blood sugar is supposed to be like 70, between 70 and 120. They told me that it was 565, and then I could have went into a diabetic coma at 600.
Jesus.
Thankfully, I did go in, but I didn't want to because that was the day my senior class was going bowling. So I wanted to go do that. I was pretty pissed.
Just not a great day all in general.
Yeah, but thankfully I went in, and it was the weirdest thing. Once I was in there and they were like figuring, like evening out my levels and stuff, I wear contacts and glasses. Since they like brought it down so much and it was like leveled out to like the normal levels for like a normal person, I didn't have to like wear contacts or glasses for like 3 days, and my eyesight was perfect.
That's crazy.
It was the weirdest thing. I will always remember that.
The one thing I will always remember, though, is on my visit to Ohio Wesleyan, I stayed with Cam in your room, you and Cam were roommates, and I'm sitting there. We just got back from, I don't know if it was lifting or if it was before lifting. I'm watching Jesse take a freaking, I thought he was freaking doing steroids. I was like, what in the hell is going on right now? Like, honestly, if it would have been, did you just connect on your iPhone in the middle of the episode? Oh, that could have been more perfect timing, though. I will say that was perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
I cannot deny that.
Oh my God, I'm a genius.
This might be the best blooper of this podcast. Turn your Oriental lock off and turn it sideways.
What'd you say to me?
Turn your phone sideways.
Is that better?
There we go.
Hey, does the sound good?
Yeah, the sound's actually better than I think your laptop is.
Whoa, golly.
Look at those.
It looks better.
But anyway, but I was watching Jesse, and I'm like, he's doing steroids, and I'm like, what program am I about to come into? And I'll never forget, because I was kind of looking at him, and he looked up and he goes,
Hey, Cole, you're going into a program that supports type 1 diabetics. You understand me?
I understand that now. But I remember, like, he kind of looked up and he goes, oh, I guess I should tell you I'm a type 1 diabetic. And I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, I never told anybody until, like, I started noticing people just, like, staring at me, like, really weirdly. And then I was like, oh, I should probably, like, start telling people I have diabetes. But, like, now if I go somewhere, I'll get, like, dirty looks. Like, especially, like, if I go to, like, Japanese steakhouse where I got to sit by, like, other people I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just whip it out and, like, shoot it in my leg. And they're just, like, out of the corner of their eye, like, you can see them. They're just like, what the hell is this guy doing?
This guy's about to have a good time.
So I just do it. Take a drink.
That's the hardest thing I got to do today.
Get off me, Aaron.
But so another football related question I want to go back to is, we kind of do this thing. I believe we've talked. I've probably heard both yours, but I know I've heard both yours, but I don't remember because we do this thing on like what is the last day of practice or something where we have senior moment where you walk around and say your favorite football memory. But I'm just gonna open it up to like your favorite football memory in general. What is your favorite football memory of all time? It could be high school, college, it doesn't matter.
I got one. I have two.
Teddy, you never played.
I played freshman year. I played freshman year and I played senior year.
You did.
So bite me.
Anyway, let's hear them.
All right, so the one I just thought of, I guess, I hadn't thought about it in a while. But now, knowing people I know now, this has got to be it. So coming here, my same class, my neighbor in the dorm, he lived like one room down from me, was David Pro. Come to find out, he went to Buckeye Valley.
Yeah.
He went to Buckeye Valley, and we played Buckeye Valley my junior and senior year. So now my favorite football memory has got to be him playing, like, I think he played nose or D-line. I know he for sure played D-line.
Yeah.
But that's got to be my favorite memory now. We played them my senior year. It was our homecoming game. We won. We beat their ass by like 5 touchdowns. And I had 3 that I had right up the middle. So like knowing Paul now, I would always talk shit. That's funny. That's got to be one of my favorites.
What about you, Ted?
Floor is yours.
All right, I got 2. Cole Nixon.
That is my name.
One as a sort of player and the other one as a coach. I mean, the first time I was able to play collegiately, that's my favorite one. It was against DePaul. We were on inside zone. I just went out and blocked the outside linebacker. Nothing crazy.
And we got to play against the same team for our first time ever playing.
DePaul?
Yep. That's when Mario tore his ACL and I got to go in.
Yeah. We were home. DePaul sucks. I hate DePaul.
Well,
anyway,
I'm pretty sure they won conference. Hey, they did win their first playoff game too. I mean, they might have got smacked in their second one, but they won their first.
I'm not even going into that. But I think I don't know if it's just because it's fresh or whatever. But when we played Wabash and it went into overtime, and it was the first time I think in almost 10 years that OU played an overtime game. The guys played really, really well. I mean, they worked their ass off all week, and we were ready. And it was getting towards the end of the season, and the guys were playing their best football. And Wabash has the ball. They're on the goal line. Me, our offensive coordinator, our safeties coach, Squirrely Bo.
Good old Bo.
Jesse's
over there. Jesse's over there doing steroids again, apparently.
Yeah, he's shooting up. And our D-line coach, we're up in the box, and all 4 of us are standing up, like huddled together. And our young defensive end, Markel Henry, really good player, sacked the quarterback on 4th down, end the game. We win the game in overtime. And the 4 of us up there jumping up and down, hugging each other. It was awesome. It was really exciting for the kids, and it was just awesome. Side note after that, Casey, our D-line coach, Casey King, was like, she's like, I'm glad you're holding me. I was like, why? He goes, we were jumping up and down, and after that, I just blacked out. Started seeing stars. But I don't know, just being a part of, this past team as a coach, the guys, the whole team were awesome, and it was awesome for them. It was an awesome win for them, and just being a part of that was really special.
Seems like I missed out on something for not coming back.
You know, that's neither here nor there.
Hey, things could have been different if I came back.
That's a good point.
Probably worse, not better.
I know. We always talk about. I think OWU's always done a really good job of family, like the team actually being family, like whatever that team is that year. But just being able to see it from an outside perspective was actually kind of one of the coolest things. You watch the young guys just kind of fit right in almost automatically, almost in between camp. And, we've always had really good seniors that bring guys along, and it's a really special thing. And I think it's one of the things that make OWU, just going back to the family vibe, but just being able to actually see it all come together it was special.
I don't think you realize how much of like a family it is until you're out of school, because like I look at it now, like in college, like, yeah, obviously we're real close. We literally pretty much live together all the time. Like all of us are at dinner together every night. Like we see each other out you're around each other 24/7. But when you get out of college, and then like I get calls from Chris Bonner, Joe Urich, freaking Prawl Snapchats, like all these people who still talk. Yeah, I know I'm bringing up Prawl again, but all these people, you two, like all these people that you still talk to who hit you up or you hit them up. Even Jermaine Fraser-Phillips, I still talk to him periodically because we might have a special Roughnecks.
You didn't even play with him.
Yes, I did. He was a senior when I was a freshman. He graduated with Rubel.
Yeah. He's in Ben's class.
Yeah. Ben and Brad and Jermaine and Anthony Chambers.
Oh, no. I thought he was in that class.
Yes, I know. Jermaine's been on this podcast.
Man. Huh?
Jermaine has been on this podcast.
I'm well aware. It just doesn't always. If you looked at Jermaine?
Yes, he's like a 40-year-old man.
He's looked like that since he was in college. He was like a man.
And his voice is so deep.
Yeah.
But we might have a little collaboration between Big Up Brew and Roughnecks coming soon. I won't announce that yet, but it may. Something may be happening there.
You making a coffee?
I mean, I'd love to, but no, that's not it. Anyway.
Sounds tasty.
Yeah, I don't think you realize like how much of a family it is until you're outside of it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's, I think it's what makes the sport. I mean, there's some other factors, other things, but it's not a sport. I guess from not necessarily an emotional standpoint, but from it builds a family. It literally does. It's all across the board, no matter where you are, what position you play, or what you do for the team. Like, you got your guys.
Well, that, and I think it, like, the fact too that I mean, you're with these guys all year.
Yeah.
You're lifting, you're training all year just to have 10 games that are guaranteed.
Yeah, they're not even guaranteed anymore.
Well,
they're guaranteed, Cole.
Mine weren't.
Sorry.
Huh?
Mine weren't.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, that's too damn bad.
Well, that goes right to the point itself. That makes it even harder.
Yeah. And I feel like Teddy you were on the outside looking in, but I felt like us dealing with all that my senior year, like not just like the entire team, and I think it helped build into this year as well. Like I think everybody grew closer because of all that shit that we went through.
Yeah, and you guys got dealt a horrible hand, and it really sucks. And I don't think there's anyone who in the world that would have expected that.
No.
There's no one that wanted that for you guys, and I don't know. I think we could have done something. Whoever was running the show, I think we needed to think it out a little bit. But it's, you play this game pretty much your whole life, and then you have the opportunity to play it in college. And then once you become a senior, it's kind of, you realize like, oh, it's the last time I'll be able to do this. Mm-hmm. And I think those, like, every senior deserves to be able to wear those pads as long as possible.
Yeah.
You know?
But I also kind of like, I look at that now later in, like, it's not that much later in life, but you almost look at that's similar to like a life circumstance that you're going to get. Like, you're not always going to be dealt the best cards in life. Like, you're going to have shit that just completely goes wrong. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just how you react to it, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. And, that's a big thing Coach Watts preaches,
Watts was actually just on last week. Yeah, he was the last episode.
I actually just saw him too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's weird. You're in the dungeon at Ohio Wesleyan and you saw Watts?
Oh, man.
Yeah. All right, he's my boss.
You went from calling him coach to boss.
I still call him coach.
You call him Watts. Everybody calls him Watts.
I call him T-Dub. Yeah. He's got the swagger of an old oil baron.
But I'll ask you guys this, since we all played with different coaches because we had some come and go, but who is your favorite coach your time at Ohio Wesleyan? Teddy, you have to answer as a player, not as a coach.
Oh, it's the same one. It's the same.
You can go then. Because I can't narrow it down to just one.
You had three different running backs coach in like 4 different years.
Yeah.
We had Watch your last two, right?
Yeah, that was nice. Reed was awesome.
Oh, Reed, yeah.
Coach Reed. Mine would have to be Coach Reed, Coach Watts, and Bo, because Bo was the one that recruited me. Well, but then again, I got to throw Formaz in there too.
Formeezy.
Formaz is a great dude.
As a player, I don't know if I can answer this because I work with all these guys.
You don't have to.
I mean, Bo. Me and Bo always had even when I was a player, we just had a really good relationship. I don't know how that came about. It came about because I always.
You and Bo act the same half the time.
Yeah. No. So actually, funny story. Uncle Bo just had a young DBs meeting, and I was leaving, and Bo was talking about how, he drinks like green teas now and stuff.
Is he no longer a shotgun in Red Bulls before practice?
Well, that's what I said. I was like, yeah, man, the Bo I knew when I was a player here was drinking 4 energy drinks a day and chewing tobacco. And one of the kids goes, "Oh, that's you now, huh?" I was like, "Oh, damn."
Walked
shit.
right into that one.
I was like, "Oh, man." Oh,
I bet Bo loved that too.
Yeah, he just with his grin. Well, Bo both yes, Bo, and then I loved Coach Watts. And then I had a revolving door of tight end coaches.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you did.
I guess it'd be Brucey.
I remember playing basketball with you and Brucey, and you and Brucey for some reason. Well, Brucey that one day was just completely on fire and couldn't miss, but then the next game he couldn't make a freaking shot.
Yeah. Brucey, me and Brucey and Sherm and Cody, we have a group chat together, and Bert's in it, but we still talk.
Good old Bert. We won't get into that. I'll skip to the next question.
Old Squirtle.
But this is an interesting question because we all live different places. Favorite place to live on campus? I think I know what your guys' answer is.
Oh.
You said the house.
Mm-hmm.
I figured it had to be the house. With the house that
the
no longer
blue.
exists.
Yeah.
No longer exists.
Well, it exists, but it's just somebody else's house now.
I don't even know who lives in there now. I have no idea.
Teddy, do you know anything about campus anymore?
I do.
Oh God.
I have to give tours.
How do you not
So you know
who
the facts and stuff?
They don't. Huh?
You have to know like facts and stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, like,
you walk by those every time you give a tour.
Yeah,
you gotta
but
know who
they
lives
don't say like who lives in them. And we try to stay away from
Why?
So are you guys
granny stuff and all that. Oh, you know what I mean?
Anyway, hey, squirrel.
What?
You. That's you. Teddy is definitely the person that gets sidetracked very easily.
Yeah. What do you want?
Next question.
Okay.
Which is, we're going to talk a brief. We're not even going to go into that question because that question could go for freaking ever. And we are 41 minutes into this episode already. So unless you want to go into it, we can. But we've talked about it multiple times. Actually, all of us have talked about it on this episode.
Well, now you got to tell me.
Dealing with injuries, because we've all dealt with them. And that can go a long different. If you guys want to know about injuries, I'm pretty sure me and Jesse talked about it on our episode. I don't remember what episode it is, but look up Jesse Beachy's episode and Teddy's episode. You can hear about it, I believe, with Chris Bonner's episode.
Yeah.
That's the good one. But if you want to hear about that and dealing with it, because we all had injuries and dealt with them, and it was not great. But this was supposed to come out in November. Obviously, you two couldn't ever find a good time to record and just ignored me. But
we're busy.
I'm just kidding. It's fine. I don't care. This episode's coming out way late. I apologize to all the Roughnecks listeners who did not get an episode on Monday, but I already have all of December booked. So you will have episodes every single Monday, all of December. Got some good ones coming up. But
that's a good promo you just cut right there, Cole.
I do that all the time, man.
It's a good promo, dude.
But I wanted to ask, since this episode was supposed to come out in November, and November was gratitude, who and or what are you grateful for?
These nuts. Who or what or what?
What are you grateful for? I mean, it's like a Thanksgiving dinner, man.
How's your family?
So what are you thankful for?
There's a lot of things, Cole. A lot of things.
And you can't even name one.
You going? You want me to go? I'm of course, I'm very grateful for my mother.
She's a very nice lady.
Very nice lady. We're two very different people.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Very grateful for her, but I'm very grateful for the friends I made here at OWU. And just because being away from home, it's easy to not think about home, just because, the relationships we've kind of grown, and it's family. So very grateful for that. Very grateful for y'all's families. Nate Lee, shout out Nate Lee.
I need to get Nate Lee on this podcast.
Nate would be a good one. And then I'm thankful for Coach Watts for pretty much giving me my legitimate first coaching opportunity. And then for Sarah for putting up with a lot of this that
Tom. You better be very thankful for that woman, because I don't know how she deals with you, because I couldn't deal with you, and I lived with you for not even a whole year.
Yeah, well, she's got, yeah. For a minute, I was like, I was trying to feel myself. I didn't know where my phone was. So remember. Jesse's turn.
Oh, what am I thankful for?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you kind of stole some line, but too many people to name, so I'll just say it very vaguely. I mean, people know who they are, though. Very thankful for the lasting relationships that I've made with people I met here. Because it's it doesn't matter what. For example, Nate lives in Massachusetts. Still talk to him pretty much every day. Stuff like that. Thankful for lasting relationships like that. Thankful for my family. Thankful for, both sides of my family. So I was definitely thankful to still be able to work throughout the whole COVID deal, because when that was first happening.
See, on YouTube, I can't say that. You can't say that, Teddy. On YouTube, you might get cut. I'm just kidding. I don't have enough following that it's okay.
Thankful to work through COVID.
If you say COVID on, we can't talk about. If you say that stuff on YouTube, apparently, like your video might get banned.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
I didn't say anything bad.
Yeah,
I know.
It was a very positive thing.
Yeah,
It was. Continue.
well, since we were doing like home remodeling and stuff, we didn't know how it was going to affect getting jobs, going places to work, like at people's homes. So we didn't know if we were going to be able to keep working, be off for like a couple weeks, have to wait till people let us know if we can come or not. So being able to just work all the way through that, get a paycheck every week, definitely thankful for that. There's more stuff that I'm going to think of after the freaking show. It's going to piss me off.
It happens every time. We talked about it again before the episode. I deal with it every episode. Just be grateful that you only have a couple episodes that you might have to deal with that.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite questions to ask, and I ask every single guest this question. Now, I didn't always, but now I ask all my guests this single question, and it's one of my favorites. If you could go back in time and tell your 16-year-old self one thing, what would it be?
Don't get engaged.
He didn't even think about it. He didn't even think about it at all. He just said it.
Oh, God.
Oh, for anybody who knows Teddy, knows why we were laughing the way we were laughing. We're just gonna leave that story at that.
Yeah. I don't know. That'd probably be.
Yeah, I was kind of gonna say something like along the lines of that.
Yeah, that'd probably be.
But I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay, so we both we're gonna.
I'll think of something else I can say.
It doesn't matter. Whatever you want.
That was just the first thing that came to mind. I'll think of something else.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I would definitely tell my 16-year-old self to like take it nice and easy when there's snow on the ground in this old ass car I had. So I didn't put it in the ditch 3 times for no reason other than just going too fast.
Yeah.
No, I definitely tell myself that.
That's fair. I probably should tell myself still that now, but that's beside the point.
Better not end up in the ditch.
Hey.
I'll tell you.
Okay, thanks.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'm gonna stick with mine.
All right.
And then listen, like actually take what coaches you have over the years, and I guess just like older people say to you about like being like in the moment.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, something you don't really. I think everybody, it always blows off, but when that time comes and the reality sets in, like it goes pretty fast.
Yeah, like especially like high school football felt like it went really fast, but then you went to college and it felt like it went even faster.
Yeah,
and
you just gotta enjoy it all.
Yeah, because there was
the other too is like people. I don't know. I guess it's one thing I have with like social media. Like I kind of get the whole point of like posting pictures, like whatever, but just like being in the moment and taking it all in, feeling it, not take like whatever, like I guess trying to capture it.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually absorb it and you're there, fully there, whatever it is, I think it's more captivating than getting a picture.
Yeah. I don't know how many freaking times we talked about stuff that like we all did in college. And I mean, I go and try and look for like a photo, a video, anything, and nothing.
But like, you still got the memory.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I'm always going to remember stuff like that.
Yeah, that's like, I think as we get older, we start to like really there's certain things we realize like, hey, we actually need to take this in and not just take a picture, like start recording on Snapchat, whatever it is. Because social media is a killer of ruining, I don't want to say ruining the moment, but like, you don't actually fully take it in. You don't give it your full attention. And when you guys both know I'm a big Granger Smith fan. And when I met him in Michigan not too long ago, like that's why I told my ex, I was like, you take pictures when I go out. Like, I want to just walk up and just talk to him and not have to worry about, hey, can I get a pic? Like, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go enjoy this moment because it was a very great moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
Which is big.
Well, that, and then, I mean, just going off the social media thing, I mean, that's what, like, I mean, I've realized now is like, yeah, somebody's social media could be like all shiny, roses, going on trips, all this stuff. But then, I mean, you don't know if they're like actual everyday life. Yeah. I mean, if they're going through stuff. So, I mean,
could be just a big fugazi.
Yeah. Yep. Because we all want to post on our social media this all happy-go-lucky and make ourselves look good. Like, we all do it. We're all what do you call it? I can't even think of the word. We all do it. But anyway, like, that's what we want to post because we don't want necessarily people to know that we're living a bad life if we are having a bad time or whatever. Like, we want people to think highly of us. And that's social media has killed our generation.
Yeah.
To a degree. Yeah. But don't get me wrong, there is pros to social media because honestly, the social media aspect has helped my podcast 100%.
Right.
Because people wouldn't even know what this podcast was if I didn't have social media.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I think
there's pros and cons to it.
Then there's the other side, and I hate seeing people that, put their feelings on there. Actually irritating.
Yeah, if it's like always the same shit.
It's like, oh, I had a bad day. It's like, cool, I don't care.
Yeah, Ted, you don't care about anybody.
It's not true.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the thing with like stuff like that, if you can talk about it on social media and like post about it and stuff, then you should have zero problem actually asking somebody for help.
Yeah.
If you're actually going through something.
Yeah. Yeah, because you both
usually,
know.
If people that don't say anything are going through something, they're not going to talk to anybody. But the fact that you can just like outright say it for like the whole world to see, but not talk to like a specific person about it. I don't know.
There's a balance. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
but we're gonna move in to the best segment of this podcast because I'm pumped. I got two guests for this, but it is time for Motivation Monday. Motivation Monday is a point in the episode where I allow my guests to give the Roughnecks listeners a little inspirational bump to set the tone for their week as they listen on Monday morning. So what do you two wonderful gentlemen have for Motivation Monday?
I still got to think of something.
And they're still fighting like brothers.
You said you had something to say.
Yeah, but
I still got to think.
I don't know. I think one of them, I don't know, just the way I kind of live life, like no regrets in what you do, kind of going, wholeheartedly, I guess would be the best thing, but you got to be able to do something and know when you give it all you got no regrets when you come out of it. I don't think you should live life with regrets. And I don't think life is meant to vice versa have regrets. You got to keep going and live your life, make your decisions, and just whatever you do, just put put all the effort, all your heart into it, and keep trucking. And I think that's the best way to have a happy life. Because if you keep looking back, and kind of rethinking the decisions you've done, it's really easy to, I guess, put some negative thoughts in your mind, and then, second guessing's never been good. So just live life, no regrets.
I think so you talk to you shouldn't live life with regrets. Like when people say they regret things, you almost can look at it like, no, you don't necessarily regret it, because guess what? You learn from that mistake, whatever it is. It's not a regret. Do we wish we didn't do something? Yes. But guess what? We learn from it. You can take every opportunity, good or bad, and learn from it.
Yep.
So what is Jesse Beachy, the man of more wisdom than Teddy? Technically, he does have more wisdom. He's older.
He's older. I'm gonna slide out.
All right. I'm pretty sure I said this last time I was on. But I mean, going through every day, I mean, if you go into the day with a bad attitude, you're gonna have a pretty shitty day. The only thing you can't control if something goes wrong at work, an order doesn't come in, something isn't shipped. Just depending on what you do for work. But getting mad about it and being shitty to your coworkers and stuff isn't gonna change your day.
It's probably gonna make it worse.
All it's gonna do is make everybody else's day worse along with yours. So I would say, the only thing you can control, you can control your attitude. Meet everybody with a smile. Don't come in it took me a bit, not get hot-headed and just
that's where I've talked on this podcast. I want people to realize, when we go through and talk about this stuff, we're not acting like we're perfect. Nobody on this podcast has ever been perfect. We've all gone, the reason we say the things we do is because we've gone through this and we've learned through those mistakes, this is how you need to react. This is how you need to handle things. And it's because it's through trial and error, essentially, is how we know this stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. So I would say, basically control what you can control.
I'm pretty sure that might have been your, I don't even remember what the title of your episode was, but it might have been that.
That's the way to think about it.
Trying to drill it in everybody's mind.
But with that, that's a wrap on the 63rd episode of the Roughnecks Podcast. We have some freaking awesome guests coming on next month. Be sure to tune in. Trust me, you will not want to miss them, especially the last episode of the year. Trust me, you'll want to listen to it. But you guys know the deal.
Much nut guy.
Relax. Don't give it away yet.
Michigan Wolverine.
That Jim Harbaugh? Absolutely not.
Jim Harbaugh. Big khaki pants guy.
But until next week, you guys know the deal. Life is hard and it's going to knock you down just like a bull does to a bull rider. Don't let the bull of life walk all over you. Get up, grab the bull by the horns, and take control of your life. Roughnecks out.
Bang.
What? I'm so disappointed.
Why?
You didn't do it.
Later, chiplets.
There we go. Thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of the Roughnecks Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, then do a couple things for me if you would. Subscribe, rate, and review so you don't miss any of our future episodes. Then share this episode with a friend so that we can continue to spread this podcast and share my guest stories and advice. You guys know the deal, though. Until next time, be sure to grab the bull by the horns and take control of your life. Roughnecks out.
Oh, thank you.